guess I always wanted to do it. I just never thought I could make a living at it. Of course, being in a place in Arkansas, I mean, God bless my parents, but no one encouraged me because they all have the idea of the starving actor. You have to have something to fall back on. That's why I studied broadcasting in college, but I got more interested in acting. You just have to do, as I say, what's in your heart. And I was always into comedy. I would get all the comedy albums of Bill Cosby and all these people. I memorized the bits. Of course, no one laughed at it when I did it, but still, it was something that related to comedy. And then one day, I went to New York City, and was fortunate enough to get my business started there. In the back. That's
so, with the advances of technology for the voiceover business, is there any sort of experience that you wish new voiceover actors could experience that they'll probably never experience ever again thanks to technology, that you believe will be probably worth their time?
Well, the technology has changed. The experience of performance hasn't really changed. There's a minor thing that has evolved in cartoons. If you listen to the J. Ward things, the Rocky and Bullwinkle period, they worked as an ensemble. They didn't, if one person was talking and the other person wanted to jump his line for the sake of the pacing, they could do it. We can't do that anymore because the microphones are turned on. If you got a microphone over there and a microphone over here, and he's talking, and I say something, I'm off mic for him, and that's going to come, it's going to record, and it won't sound right. Why in SpongeBob, we keep Tom Kenny in a special room by himself so that we can overlap with him. But addressing your question, the process of producing and being creative hasn't really changed that much. What has changed is the access that everybody has now. It used to cost tens of thousands of dollars to have a recording studio at home. You can do it with GarageBand and an iMac, and send your work out, not physically, but over the net. That's why a lot of people in my industry are struggling right now, because they're competing against people in Iowa auditioning from their closet with their iPhone. So you're auditioning against hundreds of people as opposed to maybe 10 or 15 people. So there's more opportunity for people, but it's becoming harder to make a living at it. Yes.
Do you have any lines from your crazy runs that you wish could have made it into the show, but either couldn't or didn't?
Well, one that did make it in, that didn't, actually in the script, but I'm really glad they kept it. For some reason, Mr. Krabs was beholden to Squidward for something, and so he was being his servant for that day. And Squidward said, I think I could use a pillow for my foot. And he said, oh, here's your pillow, I guess I'll be leaving now. And I go, flop it. See what? I said, flop it. It was just so much fun to do that. I'm glad I made it into the episode. Oh, blinded now. Can't see a thing. Oh, yes. You're awesome.
Have you ever called a family member with the voice of Squidward?
Yeah, they don't know anything about what I do. My father never recognized me whatsoever when I say, I'm on that commercial there. But my grandson knows it. He's very good. He was 3 years old and he could do Squidward.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, he's 10 now. So yeah, what's fun is to go up to a McDonald's drive-thru.
That's awesome.
You want fries with those? When the show first premiered, I was at the checkout. Some young guy was there, and I was buying, because I have the world's largest merchandising collection of SpongeBob merchandising. You should see the museum I have now. Wow. And he said, oh, you have a son or something, a child, you're buying this for? I said, no, I'm buying it for me. And he said, oh, okay. And I said, well, and I did the voice for him. And he goes, yeah, it's pretty good. And when the weird thing is, I can't. We can work with broken legs, but we can't work with stuffy noses. And I was trying to do the voice for a little girl one time, and she just adamantly said, "You're not the guy." Here's my picture. Yes, ma'am.
Do you have an idol?
An idol?
You look up to?
Well, sadly, Robin Williams was a very nice person. We had kind of a parallel, me and Robin. I met him at the famous Comedy Store in Hollywood. And when I first started out, as I said, I was in physical comedy, and I was very much into that set of things, the set of characteristics of rapid fire, very animated, pinball type of delivery and everything. And then I saw, after I met him, I saw the first episode of Mork and Mindy, and all he did was make an entrance, this little entrance, a little quirky entrance with a suitcase. And I went, my God, he's doing what I want to do, and he's doing it better. And he got there first. So it was very sad to see that. It happens, you know, in comedy, there's a great dichotomy of experience, because inside every comedian there's a serious actor, and sometimes there's a serious person that really wants to give up. And unfortunately it befell him. So, but looking up to people, Jack Lemmon, I looked up to him. He's an older actor, very, very animated again, high energy sort of thing. All the famous physical comedians of the 50s and 60s, Jerry Lewis, Red Skelton, Dick Van Dyke, Danny Kaye. These were my role models. This was the pantheon that I looked up at. And we almost had a chance to have Jerry Lewis as a guest star on our show. We just couldn't afford it. But that would have been. I could have died then easily.
You guys had Davy Jones.
Davy Jones, absolutely. He worked on the episode, and then when we did our special at the Sundance Film Festival, we did a live reading of it with the thing projected in the back, and he was actually there too. So he was great.
Do you have any tips for like improving like physical comedy, like if you're trying to get better with your physicality in acting?
Mm-hmm. The main thing is weight and strength. You want your weight versus strength, or power versus weight ratio, as they say. When I was doing physical comedy, I was like $1.50, and I had good upper body strength, so I could take the fall. And you stop yourself with your arms, and that's what you do. Right now, I can still take the falls, just can't get back up. But that's really, and to translate the physical into a cartoon. You know, you want to have these quirky little moves. You know, make yourself a cartoon. Have that sort of a sensibility. Yep. So,
what part of Arkansas are you from?
Little Rock.
Little Rock?
Petite Roche. Very nice place to be born, grow up, and leave.
My dad's from Arkansas, and my cousin's there.
It's a wonderful place. I go back to revisit my roots, you know, but there's nothing there for me. Sorry.
Kind of following his question, but more towards voice acting. What tips would you can someone use to kind of help better developing a more stronger character, a more realistic character through audio? Because through visual, I can see it, but hearing it, only hearing it, how do you make that more of a stronger presence?
It is a handicap for us because we don't have makeup or costumes or gestures to do anything. Just like in the Renaissance, when a young painter was studying, he would mimic the masters and eventually would develop his own style. And that, in a nutshell, is what I would say to any actor, voice or not. There comes a point when you can't imitate so much that you're plagiarizing, of course.
Yeah.
But listen to how their timing is. Timing especially, I keep going back to that. It's the most important thing. And quirkiness. Laurence Olivier would always give a slightly unexpected inflection in his work, because that's the surprise. That's a tool of the actor, is surprise. You can give the line reading that is appropriate, that will work fine. But give something, that little twist in there that makes it, well, memorable and therefore more entertaining. So subtlety, nuance, timing, and it helps to pay off your audience.